We have one public forum today from Olivia Whānui. Welcome, Olivia. Excellent. So you have 5 minutes, and that would include any time for questions and answers as well. So whenever you're ready, you can start. We also have all the councillors have a PowerPoint presentation too.
Okay. I'll try to share my screen.
Okay, excellent.
But yeah, of course, I can't figure out the.
We can share it from our end, and you can just let us know when to turn the page.
So hi, I'm Olivia. I'm a new resident on the northernmost block of Selwyn Street, close to Hagley Park. Like a couple of dozen others, I have recently moved into the sections that underwent housing intensification. And I'm here to make the case that Selwyn Street residents deserve the street amenities of some of the roads surrounding us, instead of a block that's been, well, a little neglected, I think. When I walk around the Christchurch city fringe and I see other streets with new residential housing or a mix of housing and commercial, including those on bus routes, I'm just so impressed at how attractive they are. If you kind of go through the first couple of slides, you see a couple of examples on different streets. You know, everything looks really attractive. There's cutouts, there's the kind of bricks to slow people down, and they just make the streets look great. And then if you go to the slide of Selwyn Street, you'll kind of see the comparison. So yeah, here's Selwyn Street if you haven't been down it recently. So basically, if you turn left, you come down Morehouse, you kind of turn up onto our block, you're coming up to South Hagley Park and Hagley College. Our block is split about 50-50 between residential and businesses. It's a major route. Through signage, which is shown on the next screen, drivers heading to the hospital are directed down our block. So are a number of bus routes. Then there's drivers maybe cutting through the park or heading elsewhere. You might notice outside over my shoulder that vehicles, they're pretty much constant. And while it quietens at night, it really doesn't stop. If someone heads to A&E with like a broken finger or to the maternity ward in the middle of the night, they might be directed up Selwyn Street. I've surveyed the traffic at 10:30 at night. It's really informal, but we're still getting dozens of cars every half hour. And I'm pretty sure that means that our street is busier at night than most of the inner city streets. But while the block's residents get traffic, we don't get the status of being classed as a busy road. We don't even have lane markings, as you'll see from that photo. So I'm here to make the case, if you want to go to the next slide. Here's all my reasons why I think the street would be a deserving, ideal project for a redesign, for the balance to be tipped towards residents and non-vehicle road users, like bikes and pedestrians. Obviously, one of the most is that it's really busy. And therefore, I think a high quality road service and traffic calming infrastructure would be really warranted. It's also obviously really close to Hagley Park's paths and bike lanes, which means that it's really popular with walkers, scooters, and cyclists. But unlike other busy streets, cyclists on this block have no protection. There's no segregated bike lane. There's no even markings for a bike lane. It must be really scary if they're being passed by cars and buses and trucks. Selwyn Street is also obviously home to a growing number of residents, people whose sleep, health and well-being would all be vastly improved if there was a little less speed and less noise pollution. We're close to a school and a preschool, meaning children walking or cycling to school, might be dropped off. They may travel through Selwyn Street. I know the council has built lots of wonderful cycling infrastructure to encourage active trips to work and school, but it must consider that just one block that feels unsafe or unattractive enough might be enough to mean that, say, Hagley College students just stay in their cars. And finally, a block of land basically across the road from my house has been set aside by Whānui, the Bone Marrow Cancer Trust, to build a facility for people attending Christchurch Hospital for specialty treatments. This might be the temporary home of a family that's been up late waiting for news about a loved one's procedure, or it might be for an outpatient who's undergoing treatment. These are people who, even more than most, deserve a quiet place to rest and recover. As a current resident, I'm not confident that's what they're going to get. They're going to hear cars all day and even be shaken awake at night by large vehicles rushing along the street. Recently, the council significantly added to the noise problem, resealing the road with coarse chip seal. I'm not sure if you guys are able to hear it, but it does add to the noise. It means the street looks like a wide gravel pit. There's no lane markings, no median strip, and again, no bike lanes. It's a short block with traffic lights at one end and the Hagley Park intersection, or Hagley Ave intersection down the other. So drivers must give way because it's a blind corner. There's really no need for any driver to speed up, but believe me, they do. And I think that's because the road, the wide road, subconsciously tells them that it's time to hit the accelerator. But I also believe there's another reason. The quality of the road, the ugly, unattractive chip seal, suggests to drivers that this place and its residents aren't really worthy of courtesy. I really hope that, you guys and staff consider what these design choices really communicate to drivers. When drivers speed along, the stone chip grinds under car, bus and truck tires, making the noise even worse. While you can try to ignore it during the day, and even the shaking of house when large trucks and buses go by, in the early hours of the night, believe me, you wake up thinking there's an earthquake. Every street around us for miles isn't chip seal. Most of it is asphalt. If people turn right onto Lower Selwyn Street, it's asphalt. Close to us are many roads with not only asphalt, but lovely 30km/h speed limits and traffic calming features. These include many streets that have no housing, streets with no residents trying to relax and trying to sleep. And I really can't understand that there's any justification for treating this block significantly differently, and in my mind, significantly worse than surrounding areas.
Olivia, I'm going to have to jump in there because you've gone a bit over your
I'm over time, sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
Okay.
So what we don't have time is for any questions.
Okay.
But Jake's obviously online. So he's obviously already aware of it, and he'll have a conversation with his community board too. And we'll see have you had any contact with staff as well?
I have. I've tried to raise it with them, but I haven't really got anywhere.
Okay, well, I'll have a conversation too. But I am aware, because obviously looking at that photo, the street's also still under, I guess, construction. It hasn't been completed yet. And so there's still...
Yeah, there are still cones out, but I did talk to the guys, and I believe that this chip seal is the permanent state that we'll be having. As far as I've been told, that's what we've got.
Yeah, and it's quite confronting, I guess, when you look at it like that. I guess that's what happens next in terms of it bedding in and then actually removing the excess chip, because it was chip seal before this work, and then obviously the line markings. But I understand what you're talking about in terms of the amenity as well being an issue. But let's leave it with me, and I'll have a conversation with staff, and then hopefully staff or potentially Jake can also get in contact with you and just see if there's anything we can do as it moves forward.
Thank you for your time.
No, thank you very much.